welcome back, my little nightmares. Me, Queen Nightmare, and I have to record this very quickly because tonight I might not have the same phone that you hear me record on. I might have a better phone. Due to, if you remember the commercial from Verizon that if you give your own phone like this, you trade in your phone, you can get an upgrade for the whole family. Each people giving a phone back, which I'm fine with. but I might be getting an 11 or 12. So that's kind of different. But I just need to record this quickly so I get it out on time and I don't have to wait for all my apps to be downloaded onto my other phone. And this might not actually happen because the ad was kind of sketchy if you ever saw it. But if it does happen, I just want you to know if it takes me a while to update tomorrow, that's why. So, also, next week is going to be a little messy because I'm going to be doing the VBS at my church. So that's a heads up as well. Okay. Oh, no, we're not reading that one. We're reading the rest of the Snarry. Yikes. Okay. Whoops. Went to that one again. Damn. I just want to read that one, so apparently my fingers just want me to go to it. So, we stopped on 13? No. 14. Yes. Chapter 14. Severus's POV. What Malfoy was doing to Harry made my jaw drop. Can I swear now? Yes, I can. Okay. My own godson was S-Hing, if you know what I mean. The poor boy, sorry, I'm not blind. It pained me to watch it. It pained me to admit that this was my godson who was doing this. The fucking poor boy has been I'm not saying the word. That's it. In the past before. The poor boy has seen things he didn't want to see. Draco fucking Malfoy wasn't helping at all. In fact, he was making it worse. Malfoy was holding Harry in a headlock. His left hand was conjuring the position, while his right was touching Harry in some places. Hermione and Ron had no luck in budging Malfoy off the boy. I looked at the scene. Malfoy had been sucking Harry's earlobe, kissing his neck, and was fondling his pants. Hermione was shrieking when Ron was yelling at Malfoy, "Let him go." And he won't do it. Meanwhile, Harry was choking while fighting back to the urge to moan. "Malfoy!" I shouted. Draco looked up, his eyes darting over to me, and he was staring at me in shock. He immediately let Harry go and threw his arms up in the air. Harry, who had an erection and was on the verge of tears, began rubbing his neck in pain. "Explain!" I spat at my godson, running over to him, grabbing his shoulder. I didn't. Harry asked for it. What? Is that? Oh, this Draco is gonna make me. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna hurt him. He asked for it. He told me to start doing things to him when Ron and Hermione walked in on us, and Potter made it look like he was getting harassed. Malfoy shouted back at me. Harry, Ron, and Hermione were shaking, all very pale, especially Harry, who was now crying, while Hermione held him in a tight embrace. I snorted. "Draco, If I didn't watch what the fuck happened for the moment, I'd believe you. Nice try, godson. Dumbledore will be hearing about this. Everyone was quiet, as if they feared they would be getting in trouble. Harry, Hermione, Ron, Malfoy, you're dismissed. Harry, come with me. 50 points from Slytherin, may I add. With that, the students retreated from the room, leaving me with Harry. I beckoned him to follow me to the dungeon. That's going to hurt when he walks. Once we got in my classroom, I locked the door and led him to my room, in the corridor connected to the dungeons. I had noticed that I almost forgot Harry's incident with Malfoy, or the memory that I saw during this. The incident that just happened had really given me a fright, and I don't want to know what would have happened if I wasn't there. Harry, I know this is a lot for you, but please tell me what happened. I sat him down on the velvet couch, plopping it down next to him. Ron, Hermione, and I were going to talk in the classroom about something I was upset about. Malfoy came and followed us. I told them it was fine because Malfoy and I had called a truce yesterday before we walked into potions together. Anyhow, we were just talking and Malfoy kind of got carried away, sir. I promise I didn't make Malfoy do it. It's okay, Harry, I believe you, I said. Harry, what else has Malfoy been doing to you apart from what I saw? I asked. So at least he knows what's going on. Like, he's trying to make him... This is a part of a relationship that I don't get. When my mom was in a relationship once, she was never honest with him. And he was never honest with her. And I was so sick of it. Because I was caught in the relationship as well. Because I was the child. And I was in the middle of it. Because he kept using me for information. Because she wouldn't tell him. And I was just like, bitch, go away. First of all, talk to her. Anyways, he's trying to see it from his point of view. Let's keep going. I asked, pushing him a little. He started blushing and he tensed up. I also noticed his emerald eyes darkening. The day we called the truce, he kissed me. I also somehow got an erection from the excitement of the kiss, and he got a little carried away. He asked if he wanted help dealing with it. I said no. From what I know, he's aware that we have this thing going on. I don't know how, but he is. He also told me things like, don't be afraid, it's not cheating if you're not dating. When I told him that it was wrong with what we were doing, because I had this thing with you, I was furious. Harry was right, the memory was true. The boy was speaking the truth. It was Malfoy who had done it all. Malfoy had been, I didn't say that word. Had S.H. Harry. Can't really say that on YouTube or you will be demonetized. Harry's voice began cracking when he tried to talk. I could tell that this was a hard topic for him. I took the boy in my arms and hugged him. He sat there crying, his face glued to my robes. I patted the boy's back gently. I felt guilty for everything that has happened to him. I felt guilty I wasn't there to stop him when Malfoy was talking to him outside the class. I felt guilty I was never there for the boy when he cut. Only once did I actually came to help him. And I was never there for him when Vernon RP'd him. Yeah, I literally just didn't say the middle letter. The boy had no one there for him. His friends knew nothing of what was going on, and only I did, and I did nothing to stop it. I growled. But today I'd put an end to it all. Noticing Harry had fallen asleep, I picked the 15-year-old boy up, and I took him to my room. I set him down on the king-size bed, tucked him in. I kissed his forehead as I stalked off into Albus's office. "Come in," I heard the old man chime. "Albus, we need to talk. It's about Harry." Are there not any Harrys in this school or something? Are there only one Harry? I mean, Harry sounds like a big, common name next to William and Jack, Ben, and Bob. Chapter 15, Harry's POV. I woke up confused as to where I was. I got up quickly, examining my surroundings. I classified this place as Snape's room. Judging by the red velvet sofa I was very familiar with. I sat down, staring at the ceiling and remembering what had happened before I had fallen asleep, listening to the rise and fall of Severus's chest. I sighed, getting up as I walked off into the Gryffindor common room. It was now 8 o'clock. How long did I effing sleep? "Harry!" I heard Hermione exclaim behind me, running over, wrapping me in a tight hug. "Hey, Hermione," I said, smiling. "Ron and I were in the library." "That's great. How's Snape?" "He's fine. He just asked me what happened. I'm fine as well." "Oh, mate, I'm sorry we let Malfoy do that to you," Ron said, sounding saddened. I laughed. "It's okay, Ron. He just got carried away. That's all." Hermione's eyes widened. "Harry, you surely don't like Malfoy?" "No, Hermione, I'd never like him. We just called a truce and now we're friends," I classified as I thought about Snape. He was the person who I really had an interest in. But after the day we kissed, I'm too scared to make a move on him again. Just know, no matter who you like, we'll support you. Even if it's the bastard Malfoy," Ron reassured. "Thanks, guys. Let's go. We should really start on our assignment for Charms class," Hermione pleaded. We all stalked off to the Gryffindor common room as we pulled out our quill and parchments and began researching, looking for information in the several books Ron and Hermione had just checked out from the library. "Draco Malfoy, report to Dumbledore's office." Dumbledore's voice bellowed on the loudspeaker. I looked over at Hermione and Ron, who were smiling, knowing that Malfoy was going to get in trouble. I just frowned, thinking about the lies he'd be telling Dumbledore. I'm pretty sure Severus would shut it down immediately. If Severus is reporting it, oh boy, is he going to tell lies. So I'm pretty sure that when he tells Dumbledore, he's going to tell him the whole story. Severus's POV. After my small talk with Albus about what happened, I felt more comforted. I felt better now that I had told him. And trusting Albus, I knew he'd do something about it. Moments later, I heard Albus's voice on the loudspeaker, signaling Malfoy to head over to his office. A smile curled up on my lips as I pictured the punishment of my godson would be receiving. I knew it was a bad thing to wish the worst for your own godson, but he truly deserved it. I sighed, walking over to the storage room. I grabbed a bottle of fire whiskey and poured it into a goblet. I stalked over, sitting into a chair directly in front of the fireplace, as I sat drinking while thinking, lost in thought. I kept asking myself questions I didn't really know the answer to. I was wondering how Potter was doing after the incident. I had noticed that the boy had left my room. I surely hoped he was fine. Sorry. Surely hope he was fine. I lost where I was. There we go. He didn't leave a note or anything. It's all right. If he were in trouble, his friends would come looking for him. I sat in front of my fireplace thinking about Potter. Those nice emerald green eyes. I imagined them staring into my own eyes, sparkling with light. I imagined myself petting his soft, messy, jet black hair. Although he was very insecure about his body, I can tell based on the worry on his face whenever he catches me staring at him. I loved it. He was almost perfect. It made me sad, almost thinking about the age gap. Pretty much like he could be your own son. That's the problem. Thinking about him and Malfoy, and thinking about him with another person. The jealousy had always hit me hard. I had always hoped deep down it would be me he fancied. Now that I knew he did fancy me, I had to make moves on the boy, and I wouldn't let Malfoy get in the way this time. Come in. Good evening, Professor, I heard the green-eyed boy say. Uh-oh. You walked in at the perfect time, my dude. Harry's POV. I finished my assignment from Charms class, copying off Hermione's assignment. No shit, dude. We know you wouldn't do it. I got up and packed my bags. I changed out of my uncomfortable robes, switching to my plain white shirt, short sleeve shirt, which I barely wore, since it was a size too small and made my chest and cuts visible. I had told myself I would just wear it, since I had nothing else to wear. I decided I would go talk to Snape. After all, I did just get up and walk out of his room without him knowing. I told Ron and Hermione about my absence and stalked off to the dungeons. I knocked on the door and I heard a sulky baritone voice, sounding almost far away, telling me to enter. Good evening, Professor, I stated. He turned around, locking eyes with me, his onyx black eyes shining. Hello there, Harry. I just wanted to say sorry for walking out. He called it off with a wave of his hand. Come sit down, Potter, he stated, patting the cushioned seat right next to his. I obeyed, sitting down on the sofa. I noticed he had been drinking fire whiskey in his goblet. He must have been thinking about something while staring into the fireplace. After all, he was a very organized man. I bet he had completed his grading for the day. Maybe even the month. Damn. How are you feeling? After that incident today? You haven't been cutting, have you? He said that last bit very slowly, eyeing me suspiciously. No, sir, I replied solemnly. The tall, lengthy figure eyed me skeptically. After a couple of seconds, he must have decided that I was speaking the truth. He carried on a conversation about school and Hogwarts, and he kept looking down at my chest. I couldn't tell if he was pleased or disappointed by what he saw. I had really hoped he liked it. I shouldn't have worn this shirt to Snape's, I thought, blushing a deep red. I noticed the black-clothed man was now smiling. A nice smile. Cute, genuine smile. It also made me smile. Professor, do you want to know something? Yes, Potter, go ahead. You have a nice smile. You should smile more often. The man smirked. Why do you say so? It comforts me. It's nice and comforting. I almost feel safer when you smile. The remark made his lips curl into a small smile. Then I'll smile more, Potter, just for you, he said with a wink. Wait, a wink? Professor Snape, winking at me. I'm dreaming. I have to be. I started blushing at the thought of him winking. What's on your mind, Harry? He asked. Nothing, Professor. He edged closer to me, sighing. Let me guess. You're thinking about me winking at you. My cheeks flushed a deep red. I could feel the blood rushing in my head. I'll take that as a yes, he chuckled. No, Potter. Since you were ever so nice to compliment me, I have returned that compliment. Let me give you one right now. I looked at the black onyx eyes, whose eyes darted over to my own, making eye contact. Okay. He edged closer, whispering in my ear. I shivered at his touch, at his soft, comforting breath on my ear. I like your shirt. You should wear it more. He smirked. Hey, okay, start again. Okay. My alarm went off. I still have my my class alarms on, so I know that how far the day has gone by. So, anyways, he smirked as he saw me blushing. He surely knew what he was doing. Thank you, Professor. Without realizing it, the two of us had talked the night away. Looking outside, I saw that the sun was starting to rise. Then I looked over at the clock. It was 4:30 a.m. I hoped that this night would never end. It was very fun. The two of us had stayed up, talking about school. We talked about funny stories from our past. Professor Snape had opened up and told me more about his life at Hogwarts when he was younger. Hey, Harry. Yes, Professor? Thank you. Thank you for spending this night with me. I'm sorry, I didn't realize the time. I must have gotten too interested in our conversation. I have to say the same. I'm sorry for keeping you up. Don't worry about it, Potter. I should be saying that. I heard that you have practice this morning. I shouldn't have kept you up. I never sleep during the night anyway. I never sleep either, sir. So you don't have anything to be sorry for, I said, smiling at the man. Something about him had really comforted me. I liked his smile. I even grew fond of his smirk and his signature sneer. I had just grown fond of everything he owned. I like his scent. I like his hair. I like his smile. I like his sneer, his smirk. I liked his body. I've never really seen him without his clothes on or anything. But I could see that Snape was a rather muscular man, judging by his jawline and body frame. The two of us sat there for quite a while, staring at each other. I had a feeling that he was thinking about me, but I could be imagining things. Every minute that passes, I could feel Snape scooting closer and closer to me, but it could be just me. I finally turned my head to the side to stare at the man. Then I looked down. There was only about a millimeter of distance between us. Without warning, Snape scooted very close to me. He grabbed my chin, making me look up at him. I looked up at him, and our eyes locked. The deep, black-eyed man smiled, looking down at me. Then he placed a soft, passionate kiss on my lips. Severus had kissed me, and the world tilted on its axis. Chapter 16. Wait, what? 16 already? Yeah, 16. Okay. Harry's POV. Severus Snape had kissed me. Severus Snape had kissed Harry Potter. I looked up at the man, smiling widely. For once, Professor Snape himself had been smiling, which made me happy. It was surely the best kiss I've ever experienced, better than Draco's. I hoped it would never end. I got up grinning. I should probably get dressed for Quidditch. All right. I grabbed my robes and took off my shirt, putting them on. Professor? Yes, Mr. Potter? Could I please come back after practice to continue our conversation before breakfast? If you'd like, then of course you can. You may also use my shower, since the lines are very long in the common room after practice. I grinned, heading out of the room to retrieve my firebolt. Thank you, Professor. I walked slowly to the Gryffindor common room. It was 5 now. Practice would begin in 15 minutes. But Wood was probably getting the field set up. I could probably go and help him since I have nothing to do. I grabbed my firebolt from my trunk and stalked all over to the Quidditch field. It's time skip. Harry's POV. Practice was called off. I walked from the rest of the team to the castle. The walk was very quiet, rather awkward, maybe because everyone was tired, and everyone made a turn to the Gryffindor common room. I took a left and went down the stairs to the dungeons. Without a knock, I entered Severus's room. He was holding a diary he was writing in it. When he saw me, he gasped and shoved his diary in his drawer. I'm gonna have to search that drawer when he's out or asleep. Oh, dude, no! Oh, Potter, you startled me. I apologize. I'll knock next time. I stated, turning red. He called it off with a wave of his hand. I'm going to take a shower, I said, earning a nod from him. I took off my Quidditch robes in front of Snape, leaving me only in my boxers, earning us several glances at my chest and lower region, also causing him to shift uncomfortably. I'm going to my potions lab, he said, clearing his throat, while quickly dashing away nervously. I entered the bathroom and began my shower. About 10 minutes later, I exited the room and placed a towel around my waist. I noticed that Professor Snape was still in his potions lab, so I decided it was time for me to quickly— No! Don't check the diary, you moron! That's overstepping boundaries. You guys aren't even dating yet. I don't do this. I don't check people's stuff without permission because then I feel like shit when I do it. Oh no. Is it gonna turn bad? Please. Please, 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 please. Okay, here we go. I noticed that Professor Snape was still in his potions lab, so I decided it was time for me to quickly check his diary. I silently stalked over to the dresser and then opened the drawer, to which he luckily forgot to put a locking charm on it. I grabbed the diary and flipped to the first page. Severus Snape's diary, 5th year. This was from 5th year. I flipped another page and skimmed through it. I'm Severus Snape, and today I found out I'm gay. I don't have a liking for anyone, but put soap in my mouth for this, but I like James Potter. He's hot. I guess it must run in the family. It's just his attitude that makes me hate him. Today I realized that I loved Lily Evans. She's not a Potter yet. In a sibling kind of way. And that I had no interest in girls. I just wished bastard James Potter would give me a chance. That's enough of that page. I flipped through the pages until I saw a heading that caught my eye. Things that attract me. The look of the boy who just came out of the shower with the towel loosely wrapped around his lower region. Wow. Like, that was, like, put in there, like, maybe 2 days ago or so. The bodies of the Quidditch men. Abs, nice curved ass, strong arms, and leg muscles. Parcel mouth. The sexy voice as they speak to a snake. Quidditch players. Green eyes, messy hair, sharp jawline. The ability to comfort me and cuddle well. My nervous tendencies, or when I am attracted, but I don't want to make it too obvious to the person. I get a boner. Wow, okay. I start shifting uncomfortably. I refuse to make eye contact with anyone. I heard heavy footsteps coming over to the room. I quickly shut the book and threw it in the drawer. Potter, did you get out of the shower? I heard a soft, silky voice coo. Yes, Professor, I said, as I saw him glance at me in the towel around my waist while filling with his robes uncomfortably. The look of a boy who just came out of the shower with a towel loosely wrapped around his waist. I thought, that's why he must always want me to shower in his room. He even likes the body of men who play Quidditch, green eyes and messy hair. He liked my dad, so does he like me? He cleared his throat. Shit, I was staring at him while I was thinking that. I immediately went red, looking up at the man. He smirked. Potter, get dressed and come back here if you like. With that, I exited the classroom and walked to the Gryffindor common room. I quickly scooped my red and gold robes, Gryffindor robes. Oh, shit. Hold on. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. I had to put the garbage out because I heard the garbage can truck coming. By entering, I slipped on the robes and walked in. As I exited the classroom, I walked to the Gryffindor common room. I quickly scooped up my gold Gryffindor robes and pants and walked quickly back to the dungeon. After entering, I slipped on the robes and walked in. Professor Snape was sitting on his red velvet sofa in front of the fireplace, as if lost in thought. Glad you decided to come back, Harry. You didn't think I would? You never know, he said with a... while patting the couch next to him, signaling to take a seat. I obeyed, sitting down next to him. Sir? Yes, Mr. Potter? Can we play Truth or Dare? I've never really played it before with a teacher, and it's a good way to get to know each other. I suppose so. Your turn. Truth or Dare? I choose Truth. Okay, when did you realize you were gay? Potter, don't you think that's a little personal? Please, I can ask you 2 questions in one turn. You can ask me 2 questions in one turn. Fine. Okay, so he's saying that next time you can do 2 questions to me instead. Fine. I realized I was gay in 5th year when I was started liking. He paused as if thinking he should continue. Another man. He was trying to avoid telling me who that man was, although I already knew it was my dad, judging from his diary. I nodded, decoding I wouldn't force anything else. I picked Truth for both of my turns. Since you want to go to the sexual and romantic route in these questions, so be it. How did you realize you were gay? Have you ever done anything with another man? I smiled, thinking about the questions. I realized I was gay when I wasn't satisfied with my relationship with girls. I haven't done anything with another man. The furthest I've went is a kiss. I have, though, done things with a girl. Only one girl, Ginny. He gave a small nod. Truth. Have you done anything with another man? Apart from kissing you? No. Truth. Dear gosh. No, I don't need to know this. Please kill me. Oh no, Potter. How did you and Ginny not get caught? I smirked with my cheeks flushing red. Well, we snuck off to the forest one night under my invisibility cloak in 3rd year, and yeah. I looked at the potion master who was now fighting back a laugh. 3rd year? Zeus, Potter! I just smiled awkwardly, not knowing if he was angered or not, but I decided I wouldn't ask. Truth. Have you done anything with a woman? Your mother and I got carried away one night in 4th year. No, I don't need to know this. I'm cringing. Oh my gosh. It was weird, really. It was before she was dating your father. It was at night. We were both up in the astrology tower watching the view, and I guess it happened. Other than that, no, I haven't. Jeez, we spent the rest of the early morning with questions. All of them were truths, and all of them did something to do with romance and such. It was a little awkward, but it was also calming at the same time. Not one of us overreacted about a question and was almost thankful for it. Breakfast time, Potter. We should get going. You have Occlumency lessons today at 5. I nodded, walking towards the great hall for breakfast side by side with the potion master. We parted ways, walking over to the staff table, and me walking over to the Gryffindor table to join Ron and Hermione. Hey, guys. Hey, Harry, the two of them said at the same time. Hey, Harry, what's with you and Snape? Hermione asked. I guess I can't keep it away from you anymore. It's nothing really, but we just have been hanging out a lot more. And he's really nice, and I think I might like him. Ron and Hermione's jaws drop. Congrats, mate. How do you think he feels about it? Ron asked, completely shocked. I told them about the diary I found today and about the questions that we asked each other during Truth or Dare. Are you mad, guys? Are you guys mad? No, Harry, we aren't mad, but we're just shocked. We support you, the two of them said in unison. I grinned. Thanks, guys. Chapter 17! Harry's POV. The day went by like a blur. Nothing interesting had happened. Potions class was pretty boring. All the other classes were plain dumb. Draco didn't even talk to me anymore. After the incident Professor Snape saw occur. But I don't really mind as long as he doesn't bug us anymore. After our final class, which was potions, we all exited the room once. I didn't get a detention. Instead, Malfoy did. Malfoy had been trying to annoy Professor Snape and drive him over the edge ever since the incident. So he's been getting countless detentions and loses house points. After classes, Ron, Hermione, and I went off to the library together to study the sleeping drought potion. Even though Hermione knew almost everything, she insisted we went to the library since it was better safe than sorry, yeah. Since Ron and I had nothing else to do, we simply agreed. Time went by slowly in the library. We researched the potion for about an hour. It took Hermione 2 hours to write her essay on the parchment, so I quickly copied her work on the parchment and quills as I ran off to Snape's classroom for the Occlumency lessons. I knocked on the door and waited for a reply. Oh, rawr. I heard a rustling, and the sound of clothes being moved around. Fuck. Was he changing? What was he just doing? Come in. I heard it. I heard the deep voice. I'm not doing that right now because I almost choked on my own spit. I turned the knob and walked in the room. Good evening, Harry. Take a seat and we will begin. I obey, sitting down in the chair in front of his desk. To begin, we must make your mind blank and empty. Think of nothing at all. Make your worries go away when the Dark Lord may look into it, he will have nothing to view. I sat there, blankly trying my hardest to forget things, and I tried to drive out all my thoughts, memories, and everything that was on my mind. All right, now let's try it. Harry looked me in the eyes. The professor grabbed my chin and making me look up in the onyx black eyes. All I could think of was how beautiful his eyes were. Oh no! Oh no! Dude, you're supposed to keep your mind blank. I already knew where this was going without it going there. Oh, how I wanted to kiss him right now. he gasped, shifting uncomfortably in his seat as he retreated. Fuck, he read my mind. Potter, he growled. Yes? You can't fantasize like that, Harry, he said, shaking his head. You're not taking this seriously, Potter. This can get you killed. I don't want you to die, Harry. I know it's hard. I know it's boring. Please, try your best for your own Severus, I need you in my office. Now, it's about the Dark Lord. Dumbledore came bolting through the door. I looked at the tall man, his eyes been darkened, and frowned with now in his face. You're dismissed for the day, Potter. With that, the man exited the room, leaving me behind, wondering what that was all about. I got up, walked back towards the common room to talk to Hermione and Ron. The three of us were in a conversation about Professor Snape and him suddenly leaving until the loudspeaker bellowed. Harry Potter, report to Dumbledore's office. Oh, shiza. That's not good. I grunted, getting up and walking out of the common room. Whew. Darn. I looked back at my two friends. We were frowning nervously. I looked towards the large door. I knocked roughly on it. Then I heard Dumbledore's voice order me to come in. I entered the larger room and looked around the place. There was just Professor Snape and Professor Dumbledore in the office, making me nervous. Snape looked to be stressing out and very angry. Take a seat, my boy. I sat down, nervously gazing around the place. Snape has been rubbing his temples in annoyance. So, we just wanted to tell you that Professor Snape here has some business he had to do dealing with the Dark Lord, he said. I nodded. He will be gone for 3 days at most, since you two here are the most qualified and skilled in occlumency and legimency. We are going to allow you two to connect your minds together, simply using the potion Professor Snape has invented today, he said, again picking up an unlabeled potion. Oh, so their minds are going to be connected for today. Okay. There we go. Sorry, I had to get something. The two of them will be aware. The two of you will be aware of what goes on in each other's minds, dreams, thoughts, and everything, even pain. This potion wears off every 24 hours, so the two of you will be responsible to drink one a day until Professor Snape comes back. Understood, I said. All right, Severus, Dumbledore said, turning to Professor Snape, who lifted his head up. Your job is to call for help if you need it. I know it's something you dislike doing, but it's for your own good. Also note that Harry can feel all of the pain that you feel. So help will be on the way if anything goes wrong. The two of us nodded as I thought about the things that could happen to Snape on this secret and dangerous mission for Voldemort. They wouldn't tell me about. I really hoped he didn't die this way. Apart from that, Professor Lupin will be coming back to take over the job as potions master for a couple of days until your professor returns. Remus? I said, excited as the smile curled up on my lips. I felt butterflies in my stomach. Remus! Oh, how much I missed him. I haven't seen him or Sirius since the summer. The two were now living together in Sirius's house in Grimmauld Place. The last time I've seen the two of them, I told them about being gay, to which they reacted happily, bringing a smile to my face. Yes, Harry. Professor Lupin will be coming back for a short time, until Severus returns. Now, you two are dismissed. I'll be waiting for you at the front gate tomorrow at 4:30 a.m. With a nod, the two of us exit the room with 3 potions in each of our hands for the 3 days apart, at maximum. You're leaving? I asked, frowning. Yes, I am, Potter, he said. You seem so sad about it in Albus's office, he added, smirking. Yeah, well, as much as I miss Remus, I'd hate to see you gone for almost 3 days. I couldn't stop pleading for you to stay in front of... I couldn't start pleading for you to stay in front of Dumbledore. Oh, Potter, Dumbledore already knows about this thing you got going on. He chuckled. My cheeks flushed red. He does? Yes, he does, Harry. Yes, he does. He stayed in front of Professor Dumbledore's office for a while, talking, until I realized it was getting late and we shouldn't be in the middle of the hall talking at 9:30. Professor, may I walk you to the dungeon? I suppose you can, if you like, Potter. With a smile on my face, I walked side by side with Professor Snape to his dungeons. Professor, can you do me a favor? I asked as we approached the dungeon door. Of course I can, Potter. Stay alive for me, please. I'll try, Harry. I'll try my best. Thank you, Professor, I said while standing on my tiptoes to kiss the 6'1" tall man's cheek. I was 5'6" now. I'm 5'2". Short. I like being short because then you can go for the knees and knock them down a peg. He softly touched his cheek and slightly bit on the red forming on them. He was blushing lightly. It brought a smile to my face. He bent down to softly kiss my cheek as he opened the door to his classroom. Good night, Harry. Don't forget to drink your potion tonight. Yes, sir. With that, he shut the door and I walked off back to the Gryffindor common room. I gulped down the potion and went to bed. Chapter 18. Harry's POV. I woke up the next morning at 6, saddened and rather very bored. I never realized how interesting it was with Snape around until he left, and I hoped he was doing okay. I remembered that we had our thoughts linked together. Oh gosh, I have to try not to have dirty fantasies about him and about him and I in my head. I should probably shoot him a quick message. Hello? Good morning, Potter. I hope I haven't disturbed you. No, you're fine. How are you doing on your little mission? As well as I of now? Thanks for asking. Great to hear. You should probably get to breakfast, young man. We can talk later, if you like. Don't let me distract you. I'm a person who thinks a lot. Okay, Professor, I won't get distracted. And, I'm sorry if I distract you. I have interesting thoughts. I heard him chuckle on the other end, which was weird since I didn't actually visualize it. Okay, Potter, see you later. With that, I got up and put on fresh new Gryffindor robes and walked down to the Great Hall for breakfast. I quickly found my two friends and approached them. Hey guys. Hey guys. Oh, Harry, Hermione exclaimed. We were talking about Snape. Have you seen him? Harry asked. Yeah, I have. He told me he has to go on some mission. He's going to be gone for a couple of days, I said with a frown. They clearly knew this was bothering me a lot. Part of me wished they didn't notice, but of course they did. They actually seem to notice things about myself, even things I didn't even notice about my own self. Ron patted my back with Hermione, while Hermione squeezed my hand, reassuring that it's gonna be fine. Thanks, I'm just worried about him. He's off on a mission with Voldemort. Hermione gasped. Well, Ron tried to hide his shock. Oh, Harry, I'm so sorry, Hermione stated with a frown. It's all right, guys. He's not dead or anything, I chuckled. I looked over to the staff table to spot where Snape used to sit. I noticed that it was already occupied by Lupin. I met his eyes, and he gave me a wink. I smiled with a small wave and gave a small wave. He got up and started walking out of the Great Hall. I glanced at the clock. It was 6:15. Breakfast would end in 15 minutes. I decided I'd go chat with Remus for a little bit. I'm going to talk to Lupin, I said as I got up and chased after the werewolf. He heard my footsteps running after him and turned around to look at me. Ah, hello there, Harry. Hello, Remus. How are you feeling? Fine, you? All right. That's great. So, you and Snape. I glanced up at the man, blushing. How'd you find out? Oh, Harry, I knew it'd be the two of you ever since I realized you were gay. Severus was always an interesting person, and he had a liking for James. I assumed he'd like you, as he always shifted uncomfortably when he felt your presence. Dumbledore told me about the situation with you two this morning. I hope you're not mad. I wanted to talk to you about it over the summer, but you were busy with Sirius and stuff. I'm glad to be your dad's best friend. I glanced at my dad's dad's best friend. Just say his boyfriend. Damn. You already know they doing stuff, so I glanced at my dad's best friend. He was smiling. I made my lips curl into a smile. Small as well. He pulled me into a tight hug. Of course I'm not mad. Harry, love is love. Besides, you and Severus would make a great couple. I blushed at the thought of us being together. Thank you, Remus. How is Sirius? He's doing great. That's a joy to hear. Sure is, he said with a chuckle. Well, Harry, I should be probably get to the classroom. See you in class, he said as he walked off. I stayed in the hallway thinking about Severus and I. Part of me had hoped we'd end up together one day. Then again, I knew that he was very old. Ow, ow, ow. He's probably only 35 because your mother had you at 20. You're around 15, 16, so he's not that old. Wow, oof. Oh, I feel that in my bones. I'm almost 19 myself. It's like me having a child now and him calling me old. Oh, ouch, that would stab me in the gut. Oh. I knew that he would have, but that wouldn't stop me from liking him. I sat down on the wall thinking about Snape. I hope he was doing okay. How much I missed him. I really missed kissing him, even if it was disturbing. I wished he was still here. I imagined kissing his nice, flavorful lips and smiled. Shut up, Harry. He'll be back by tomorrow. Potter, I'd really enjoy if you quit fantasizing about us kissing. It's disturbing me. Oh gosh, sorry, Professor. I forgot you could see my thoughts. Whatever. I frowned, turning red. Yeah, something was bothering him. He wasn't doing all right. I could keep feeling his nervousness at the back of my mind. I could feel that Professor Snape was very nervous about something, very nervous about his mission. I should probably talk to Dumbledore about it. Snape was really off, even in his words. Trust me, I know that. I spent the last month in his room for most of the days. Then the bell rang, and I grabbed my bag sitting next to me and went back to the Great Hall to meet up with Ron and Hermione. Hey guys, we have Charms class next. Hopefully Flitwick will accept the assignments. I heard he knows we copy off Miney. I said. Ron smirked while Hermione looked shocked. If we get in trouble, that's when I felt a sudden pain in my scar. The pain was unbearable. A pain like no other. In my mind, I heard Professor Snape screaming in pain. My heart skipped a beat. Professor Snape, are you okay? I asked to him. My scar ached more than ever. All that mattered is that he responds. Professor, please talk to me. I quickly got off the floor where a crowd was swarming me. I must have reacted strangely to the pain because everyone was looking at me frightened. Harry, what's wrong? Hermione asked. I need to see Dumbledore, I exclaimed, bolting through the crowd. I ran faster than ever to Dumbledore's office. I knocked hard on the door until I saw the old man's face pop out. Professor Snape is in trouble. I have to go save him. I want some lasagna. Why did I say that? I'm sorry. That ruined the moment. I just want some zucchini and lasagna. Fried zucchini. Ooh, yummy. Okay, here we go. Sorry, I was just hungry. Harry, you're staying right here. McGonagall and I will be going... No! I'm going with you, whether you like it or not. Or I'll just go by myself. Harry, there's no time for this. Just let the professors deal with it. No! Fine then. Just stay back. I'd hate it if something happened to you. As if on cue, McGonagall entered the office. Dumbledore caught her eye, and the two looked at each other and nodded. They must have been prepared for this. Dumbledore grabbed my arm, and we apparated somewhere. I looked around. We were in a graveyard. The same graveyard where I saw Voldemort last. The graveyard where Cedric Diggory died. I glanced around the place. No one was there. Voldemort must have fled. Who said it was Voldemort who hurt him? Where is he? Then I spotted the hunched figure on the ground. My heart stopped. Oh, dear guys, I'm feeling sick myself. I ran over to the pair. Wait, I spotted a hunched figure on the ground. My heart stopped. I ran over to the pair of black robes sitting on the floor. The man had no pulse. The man wasn't breathing. The man was lifeless. He's fucking dead. I shouted, weeping on the motionless body. Another person I've lost, I said under my breath. It was all my fucking fault. Harry, move out of the way, McGonagall pleaded. Dumbledore grabbed my shoulders and made me look up at him. Harry, my boy, you've seen enough. I look up at the old man. He was in tears in his eyes. You can't leave him here. You have to try to revive him. Harry said, Harry, he's already gone. We were too late. McGonagall stated, I said, try to revive him, I growled. Completely angered at this point, the two looked at each other. Fine then. Don't be surprised when he lies lifeless at the infirmary, the woman snapped. Dumbledore grabbed my arm again, and we apparated back to Hogwarts. McGonagall is going to take him there, Harry. Are you okay? I'm really not. The man observed me. He was clearly just saddened of my loss. He got up, walked over to me, and pulled me into a bear hug. I'm sorry, Harry. I stared at the man, holding back tears. There was still hope. I wasn't going to give up now. Can I stay with him in the infirmary? Yes, I suppose it's okay. I pulled myself up and wiped the tears away. I stood up and walked out of the office to the infirmary. I pushed the door open and I saw him lying motionless on a hospital bed. I sighed, pulling over a chair and sitting down on it, intertwining his long, soft fingers with mine. I won't give up hope on my beautiful fighter. How long is this thing? Hold on. Oh! 35 with announcement and update. Okay. Oh, shit. Hi. Okay. Keep on going. Yeah. We got this. Okay. Chapter 19, Severus's POV. I saw the light. It's all over now. I guess I couldn't survive Voldemort's Avacadabra spell like how Harry had. It's okay. I'll be seeing Lily now. But Harry... I couldn't leave Harry behind. I love the green-eyed 15-year-old too much. Yeah, so about 35. Okay, I was right. I closed my eyes. I was now in a garden. A nice, beautiful green garden with roses and butterflies fluttering around. I looked around. Lily Potter was there. I ran over to her and pulled her into a tight hug. Severus, you're doing so good. I'm so proud of you. Thank you. Please don't give up, Harry. Harry, he loves you, Severus. No, he doesn't, Lily. Yes, he does. I watch him almost every day to see how he's doing. Trust me, he does. He loves you the most out of everyone in the world. You can't give up now. I thought about it for a while. Lily wouldn't lie. I trusted Lily. And I loved Harry too. I needed Harry as much as how much he needed me. Thank you, Lily. I'll go back. Only for Harry. Thank you, Sev. Keep my angel safe for me. With one more hug, I turned around, walking away from the light. I heard a voice in the distance. Okay, here we go. It gets really bad. Okay, I heard a voice in the distance. Harry's voice. The boy was holding my hand. He was crying. No, he's not dead, Madame Pomfrey. You can't give up hope on him now. Harry, he's been this way for the past 48 hours. You're being ridiculous. Had he been here for the past 2 days? Ridiculous I am then. I'm staying here until I die. I heard him shout at the woman. Why do I relate to him too much? Whatever, Potter, she said, walking out. I heard his voice cracking as he tried to say something. He was crying. Then I felt someone grab my hand and place a soft kiss on it. Please, wake up. The voice was so distant and so dreamy. Another pair of feet entered the room. My boy, Harry, you're still here? Your friends are looking for you all over the place. It was Dumbledore's. Mate, how are you feel? Oh, I'm sorry, Harry. I heard the Weasley boy say. How's Professor Snape? Granger asked. He's not doing well, Harry said, crying more. I gained the energy to open my eyes. I looked into the bright light. I was alive? I saw Potter, Weasley, Granger, and Albus all swarming my bed. Professor? Harry exclaimed, through tears leaping in for a hug. I embraced the boy who I loved. I looked at him. He had bags under his eyes. His eyelids were traced with red, and he looked very tired. He looked like he had a rough 2 days. I felt bad for the boy. I was glad I was still alive, that I could see his beautiful face again. Never do that to me again. I love you, Harry. I said, kissing the top of his head. I love you too, Professor. He pulled away from my hug and smiled. I lay back down on the hospital bed, realizing Granger, Weasley, and Albus were watching. I raised an eyebrow. What? The three of them just smiled. You two are so cute. Hermione squealed. It was the first time I heard her say something other than one of her smart remarks about potions. I look over at Harry, who is blushing a deep red. The door opened. Lupin? Severus, you're awake! The man looked at me wide-eyed. He ran over and hugged me. This wasn't the Remus I knew. Remus wouldn't care about that I was alive. He'd be mad for all I know. Part of me missed the man. Although I hated him, it still hurt to know that I was never going to see him again. What's going on? You're alive, Severus. You got hit by you-know-who's Avada Kedavra spell. We all thought you were long gone. I missed you too, Remus. I hate to admit it, but I missed you. I missed all of you. I glanced at all of them. Weasley, Granger were probably shocked to hear it. Dumbledore and Remus were smiling, and Harry was on the verge of more tears. We sat in silence for a while before Dumbledore spoke up. Severus, you may begin teaching again Monday, if you gain the energy. Today is Friday. Come on, guys. Professor Snape needs his rest, Albus said, getting up. Can I stay? Harry squeaked. Harry, you need to rest, Dumbledore stated. If the boy wants to, he can stay, I interrupted. Harry had a large grin on his face. I watched the boy as everyone walked out, leaving the two of us alone in the infirmary. Harry's POV. I stared dreamily at the tall man sprawled on the bed. He stared at me as well, and we locked eyes. Harry. Yes, Professor? Did you really stay with me the whole time I was here? Yes. Yes, I did. Why? Because I didn't want to lose you. Oh, Harry. You shouldn't have. But I did. I smirked. Where's Pomfrey? She ran off somewhere. Her and I had an argument. He smirked. Yes, and I heard it. How much of it did you hear? A tiny bit. Oh. Why didn't you get any rest? I couldn't sleep when I knew something was wrong with you, Professor. Who knows about it? Almost the whole school? That's great. I looked down at the onyx black eyes and sat and met them. I smiled at the man and pulled him in a tight embrace. Thank you for staying alive for me. Thank you for not giving up hope on me. Author's note. Hey guys, thanks for all your support on my story. I woke up this morning with 200 reads and 50 favorites. It really shook me. I'll be sure to keep updating for you guys. I'll try to update every day, and I still have school. Expect a chapter a day on weekdays, and I'll write a lot during the weekend. Your feedback is appreciated, so comment if you'd like. It really helps as I'm trying to improve my writing. That's nice. Oh gosh, chapter 20. There's a lot to be said here. How long am I? I'm good. Chapter 20. Harry's POV. I kept holding the man until he fell asleep, which wasn't very long. His energy had been wiped out from the strong spell, after all. I glanced down at the strands of black hair sleeping peacefully. It brought a smile to my face, knowing he was okay. After all, I had been stressed and sleep deprived for the past couple of days. Now I could finally relax. Ron and Hermione told me that I wasn't the same after the accident a couple days ago. Being honest, I couldn't feel the same either. I didn't feel the same. The incident had brought me closer to Snape. And now, after the whole situation, I can barely be comfortable for a minute without the dark-haired man. It really pained me. I thought I would lose the man I'd already lost enough. Lose the man. I already lost enough people. Now he's probably the last person I'd want to lose, including Sirius, Remus, and everyone I knew. Yes, I know it's crazy. I feel for the grief you get, but for my potion master. I leaned back on not so comfortable chair in the infirmary, trying to fall asleep. Harry, you're still here. Yes, ma'am, I said, shooting up from the chair, making eye contact with Madame Pomfrey. Any news? Yes, actually, he woke up. Her eyes widened. You're lying. It can't be. I grinned. It truly was a miracle, after all. I was the only person who was known to have survived Voldemort's Avada Kedavra. She ran over to the bed and gently touched Severus's neck with the point of her fingers and checked for his pulse. That's unbelievable. I grinned. I'm sorry for ever doubting you. It's okay. If you'd like, you can go ahead and sleep in the bed next to him. You don't look too comfortable. I'll run a checkup on him tomorrow morning, if he's doing well. Good. He'll go ahead and go back to teaching on Monday. Thank you, Madame Pomfrey. She gave a small nod and retreated to the staff room. I sighed heavily, walking over and plopping on the bed next to Snape's. Time skip. Harry's POV. I woke up the next afternoon. I got up and glanced at the clock above me. Holy shit, it was 12:30 p.m. I looked over to my right and I saw Professor Snape drinking a potion Madame Pomfrey had given him. This will help you gain more energy, Severus. Thank you, Poppy. I appreciate the help. My pleasure. She walked off, leaving Professor Snape alone. I looked over at the man, slightly cocking my head to the side. He looked very pale and tired. I felt bad for him. The pain must be unbearable. Harry? I lifted my head up. Yes? Did I wake you up? No, I was awake, sir. How'd you sleep? To be honest, better than I ever have. I didn't have any dream last night. What dreams? Oh, just dreams. Nightmares. Fuck, I said too much. What nightmares? Harry, be precise. I sighed. Nightmares about life with the Dursleys and about Voldemort and my parents. You know, you could always just ask for dreamless sleep potions long ago. No, I insist, it's not really that serious. Harry. The staff door opened and footsteps began coming closer and closer. It was Madame Pomfrey. Severus, I'm going to run a checkup on you now. If it's clear, you'll be able to get up and go to the dungeon if you'd like. All right. I'll be going back to the Gryffindor common room, Professor. I got up and left the infirmary, walking to the common room that I haven't seen for days. When I opened the door, I was greeted with Hermione and Ron. Harry, mate, we've missed you, you know. Ron ran up to me, chuckling. How's Professor Snape? He's doing good. He's getting checked up right now. Great. What'd I miss? To be honest, nothing. Everyone knows about Snape now. They're skeptical about you spending a lot of time with him in the infirmary. We just told them that you were worried about him, even if you hated him. Hermione stated. Thanks for the cover-up. Don't worry about it. Well, I'm going to head to the library. Bye, Hermione. She left the common room, leaving Ron and I alone in front of the fireplace. We both sat on the couch, beginning to talk. So, does Ginny know? She knows about you being gay. She was pretty upset, but she got over it. She has no clue about you and Snape. Oh, tell her, I said, sorry. He laughed. Mate, you've got nothing to be sorry for. She's just being dramatic, I guess. Have you and Snape done anything? What do you mean? Like, I don't know, things? My face automatically went a deep red at the statement. No, we've only kissed twice, and he's seen me half naked. He seems interested in my chest. I smirked. He smiled. Put the soap in my mouth for this, but you two really make a cute couple. This is all coming from a guy who doesn't really think highly of Snape, too. Thanks, mate. I stood up, remembering something. I have to turn in my assignment to Flitwick. I never turned it in on Thursday. All right. I walked over to my bag and grabbed it, heading out of the common room. All right, Potter. Uh-oh. No! No! We just got rid of you! Why are you back? I slid down my chair. I'm acting like a child. But no one likes a person who ruins a relationship. Now I have to get up and eat something. But, wait! Okay. All right, Potter. A smooth, silky voice said behind me. Malfoy. Oh! Hey, Malfoy! Hey, I'm sorry about the moment in the classroom. Don't worry about it. I've been through worse. Thanks, Harry. I was beginning to walk away when I tripped over my own feet. I immediately went red. Always making a fool out of yourself, Harry. I glanced up, seeing Malfoy's extending his hand, and I took it in mine. Intertwining our fingers, I stared at Draco's eyes, which were sparkling. Okay, fucking no! I ran away. I should literally be in, like, the middle of these things. Like, someone animate me doing these things. Like, animate the whole story, and I'm just me. No. Doing different actions. He gripped my hand tighter and pulled me closer to him. Just stab him, literally, fucking, head, get off me, please, that's all I have to add. He already knows I like him, so F off. It's giving me anxiety and I don't like it. He gripped my hand tighter and pulled me close to him, placing a peck on my cheek before letting me go. Thanks for helping me. Thanks for helping me up. Potter, Malfoy, what's the meaning of these actions in the middle of the hallways? I look up to the owner of the smooth baritone voice, Snape. Professor, it didn't, and it wasn't planned. He snorted. Couldn't have heard a worse excuse from you, Potter. It's a personal record, that right there. With a sneer, he walked off, his face emotionless, but I could feel the jealousy and hatred in his voice. Always has to catch us in the worst moments, doesn't he? That Snape. Malfoy sighed. Well, I better get going. I have to turn this essay into Flitwick. See you, bye. See ya, bye. See you, Potter. I walk away from the blonde-haired boy, blushing. I didn't even like him. I swear I don't. He always has to kiss me. Ugh. It's like having a person that really likes you, but you like someone else, but he doesn't get the hint and is overly touchy. Yes. How was I going to get out of this situation with Professor Snape? He's probably mad at me. I knocked on the door to Charm's classroom. Come in. I entered the room, awkwardly walking over to Flitwick's desk and handing him the essay. Thank you, Mr. Potter. Thank you. You're welcome, sir. I quickly walked out of the room and headed towards the dungeons. no. I have a bad feeling. Oh no. No, 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 no. No. No, 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 no. Mm-mm. Here we go. I quickly walked out of the room and headed towards the dungeons. I had to talk to Professor Snape. I took a deep breath and knocked on the door. Come in. I slowly opened the gigantic door and entered the cold room. Potter. I closed the door behind me before starting to speak. Professor, it wasn't me, I swear. Save your breath, Potter. Please, you have to believe me. I said save your breath. I sighed heavily. Give me a chance to tell my story? No, Potter, I don't wish to talk about it. Can't you take a gosh darn hint? I gritted my teeth. What the fuck is wrong with you? I'm so confused. Dude, you think I still like Malfoy after what he's done to me? He's on probably the same level as Uncle Vernon at this point. I'm pretty sure that you're going to probably say that he likes Uncle Vernon too, because they're probably on the same level. Oh, gosh. I gritted my teeth. Let me just talk. Go on then. I just tripped and Malfoy grabbed my arm, pulling me up, and he kissed me. He snorted. So cliche, isn't it, Potter? Oh, I tripped and he pulled me up and kissed me. But save your breath. I don't need any more excuses. Just leave my room now. I walked out of the potions classroom at the edge of tears. There goes my chance with Snape. Snape's POV. I can't say I didn't believe the boy, but at the same time, I can't say I did. It's happened twice now, and as much as I wanted it to be me and Potter, it might as well just be Malfoy and him. We've already kissed about twice, which is as much as Harry and I have. The first kiss, Malfoy gave him an erection. They might as well be dating already. It left me miserable. You should talk about it then, shouldn't ya? Huh? Okay, I'm going to give you advice. It's just common sense, but advice altogether. When you have a problem in a relationship, you should talk about it and nip it in the bud and talk about it and not argue about it. You need to sit down and just talk face to face and then talk back and forth from both. There's two sides to a story, and you should always talk. Because if you don't talk and have a foundation of trust in the relationship, you can be jealous. Jealousy, I get, because I can be jealous at times. I get jealous of people when they talk to my mans, but that's just me being like self-conscious, because they're probably more good looking than me, and my mans or girlfriend, whatever, alien, parasite, whatever, that came out wrong, but they're probably better looking than me, and I get self-conscious, so I will get jealous. I will probably tell them later that I get a little jealous, and I talk to them, and I'm honest. But at the same time, I sometimes are with guys, and I talk to guys, girls, aliens, parasites as well, and they'll get jealous, but they tell me about it. That's what I like about our relationship, and I'll be like, oh, don't be that way. Then again, I heard that makeup stuff, Devil's Tango, is the best type of Devil's Tango ever. If you don't get that term, it's pretty much what you do to procreate. Let's do some multiplication. You multiply minus all the clothes. You add a bed and some sheets. You you divide your legs and we multiply. If you never heard of that before, oof. Okay, there you go. Oh gosh. Okay, I sound like a cat that's mad right now. Hey, it left me miserable. It made me start thinking. After the whole month of being back with him, I've grown to like him even more. Yes, my liking for him has began sprouting since his first year at Hogwarts. But this year was when I actually started catching his attention. For these past months, all I've wanted to do was kiss him, wanted to shag him. I fantasized of him almost daily, and it pained me seeing him with Malfoy. Yes, I wanted to be with Harry Potter. No, not for his fame. No, not for his money. It was because I genuinely liked Harry Potter. To be honest, I did believe him as much as I wanted to, as much as I didn't want to, as much as I told myself that he was wrong, as much as I told myself that I didn't, I really did. He looked so hurt when I yelled at him just now. It was hard for me to even talk to him. Moments later, I reached a conclusion. Potter was right. I shouldn't have assumed that he was lying. Besides, of the 3 times that I've caught him and Malfoy doing things, it was always Malfoy who started it. It was always Malfoy who made the moves on him, while Potter would sit there with no reaction at all, except for blushing, in contrast with when him and I would kiss, he would kiss back. It made me a bit more hopeful that he preferred me over Malfoy. Fucking duh. You had to, take a whole, freaking 2 minutes of my time to get to that conclusion. He wouldn't have stayed by your bed for 2 days, no sleep, crying his damn eyes out because you died, if he liked Malfoy better than you. Am I wrong? I mean, that's just an effing duh. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna rant soon. Preferring me over Malfoy. I got up, pushing my chair in. I opened a large dungeon's doors and made my way over to the Gryffindor common room. I decided I have to talk with the boy. Ooh. Okay, here we go. Wait, how long is this? I got time. Harry's POV. I ran back up to the Gryffindor common room. I ran past Ron and Hermione into my bed, burying my face into my blanket. I fucked up. I really fucked up. Snape probably would never forgive me now. Harry, what's wrong? Hermione came dashing over, sitting herself beside sitting herself down on my bed in the boys' dormitory. I latched myself onto her, crying into her robes. It's Snape. Malfoy fucking kissed me again, and it had to be in front of Snape. I told her everything that happened and everything that Snape had said. Ron made a small O with his mouth. That bastard. Ron, it's okay. Just forget it. Forget it? He just ruined things with you and Snape. Oh, okay. So he's mad at Malfoy. Okay. I was like, wait, is he pissed at Snape or Malfoy? Don't be that way. He was just... There's this thing called jealousy, and it reminds me of what happens in not Mirror Mirror, what the fuck, wrong movie. It happens in Once Upon a Time where there's this, mirror curse, where everyone is so angry at each other they try to kill each other. And what happens is that there was this one time where Anna and Kristoff were talking, and he's like, I'm glad, if marriage is like what this is, I'm glad you keep on postponing ours. And she goes, that's not true. Really? I think us getting together was the worst decision other than this haircut. I know you don't mean that, so I'm going to leave you here. I'm going to go talk to my sister. I'm going to leave you here handcuffed so you can't hurt anyone except with your words by using them against my feelings. She just walks away, and I'm like, same. So you just have to walk away when someone is angry, and you have to let them cool down. And say to them, I'm going to be here. I'm going to be over there. When you calm down enough to talk, I'm not going to talk to an angry person because, no, that's stupid. So that's what's going to happen. Ron rushed over to the door, and while I sat hugging Hermione, who was patting my back, what do you want? I want to talk to Potter. Well, Potter doesn't want to talk to you, he said, slamming the door in the professor's face. Weasley, you brat! Your lucky Gryffindor has no house points for me to take away. Oh, okay. I think Snape won that round because Ron walked back to us smirking. Open the door right this instant or you will regret it. Hermione sighed, getting up to open the door. I'm sorry about Ron. Save your breath. Just bring Potter here. Hermione turned to look at me. Harry, it's Snape. I sighed, rubbing my tears away as I got up and walked to the door. They're so immature. Ugh, this is a pain in the ass for me to greet the man. I glanced up at the 6'1" man with black strands of hair. He looked me in the eye before pulling me into a tight hug. I'm sorry, Harry. I really am, he said sincerely. It's not your fault. After all, you saw it from a different point of view. Yes, it is. I should have believed you, knowing my mischievous godson. Thank you, Professor. The two of us embraced each other for a very long time, or so it felt that way until Ron cleared his throat. He earned a slap on the cheek from Hermione. You ruined the moment, she shrieked. Snape let out a small chuckle. He looked down at me. Would you guys care for a cup of tea in my chambers? Sure. Hermione stuttered. I smirked. I could tell she was very nervous. No one else has been in his chambers except for me and Draco, according to Snape. He nodded, beginning to walk down the halls to his classroom. We all followed him behind him in a line. What's his chambers like? What's he going to do to us? Ron asked, looking pale. I let out a loud laugh. Ron, he's not going to hurt us. Or am I? The silky voice said in front of us, opening the door leading to his chambers. I gulped. We all silently entered the room that I had been very familiar with. I'll make tea real quick. You guys go sit yourselves down on the couch. Snape walked to his kitchen, started boiling water, making tea. We all sat there in silence. I could tell Ron and Hermione were nervous. They obviously never talked one-on-one with Snape. And if they did, it was only when he was yelling at them or taking points. Minute later, he came in the room, handing us cups of tea. He sat down on the red velvet couch next to me. So, how are you and Harry? Ron asked as he sat down. Sorry. So, how are you and Harry? Ron asked as he sat down. I immediately went red. Snape took a gulp of tea before answering. What do you mean exactly? Like, how stable are you? He chuckled. We're not dating like that, right? Yes, I mean... yes, I mean, like, friendship-wise. Friendship-wise. He's like, bullshit. You have a thing, it's a thing. You haven't officially said it, but it's a thing. Okay. I guess you can say we're pretty stable, right, Harry? He said, grinning. Yeah. We've had our ups and downs, but he's the first person I've dated in, 20 years? You're pretty good for a person who hasn't kissed in 20 years. I blurted out. I'm gonna die. I blurted out, not thinking to myself. He immediately went red when Ron and Hermione stared at me wide-eyed. You're pretty good at kissing for a Gryffindor, he smirked. Whoa! I've never seen this part of you, Professor. You always seem to be a scary person. You're being honest. Now, I feel like I can easily talk to you, Hermione stated. It was the first thing she ever said to him in a while. Thank you, Miss Granger. We aren't going to discuss this moment, with anyone. You hear me, guys? It'll ruin my reputation. Tea time with the Golden Trio. Ron burst into laughter. Yes, of course, Professor. Glad that we can agree on something, Weasley. 10 minutes later, when all of us were done with our cups, we talked for a while before we began wrapping up our conversation. Thanks for this evening. I hate to admit it, but that was pleasant. Professor Snape said, Thank you for inviting us, Professor. We all got up to leave. Potter, can you stay back for a bit? I looked over at the man, who wasn't making eye contact with anyone. Instead, he was awkwardly staring into his cup. Yeah, sure. I'll meet you guys in the common room, I said to my friends, as we walked back over to the Professor Snape. As I walked back. Did I say as we? As I. So, when they emptied out the chambers, I spoke up. Yes, Professor? I just wanted a little talk time with you. The last time we talked was last Monday or something? I missed you, Professor. Call me Severus when we're alone. Okay, Severus, I said. I sat back down on the couch next to the man and began thinking, biting my lip nervously. What's on your mind, Harry? I'm just worried. About what? What if I can't pleasure you in the relationship? Like Devil's Tango or something. I don't want you to just be completely stuck in the pointless relationship with a teen Potter. I don't care about sex. Damn it! Son of a biscuit! Sorry. That probably scared a lot of people. Potter, I don't care about the Devil's Tango or anything. If a relationship even happens, it won't be pointless. Devil's Tango is just another part in a relationship. It means nothing to me. And we will do it only when you're ready. He paused for a second. Besides, you pleasure me much more than you believe you do. I blushed. I knew he was referring to his diary that I didn't know about. I guess I did turn him on much more than I thought. He gently took my chin and making me look over at him. He lifted my chin and placed a soft kiss on my lips. I love you just the way you are, my angel. Isn't that the nickname his mother gives him? Chapter 22. Harry's POV. I love you just the way you are, my angel. I broke the kiss with a smile on his face. He broke the kiss with a smile on his face. Stared up the onyx eyes. Returned the smile. Professor, I thought you already knew I was experienced. I am ready for anything. Whoa! Especially when it's things with you. He got game! He got game! He got game! Yes! My word. I smirked, catching his eye. He seemed to let the words sink in, and he began to think about something. I couldn't exactly tell what he was thinking of. He could have been thinking of what I had just told him, or maybe it was something else. I sat there in silence for a few long minutes until he got up. Well, then, Harry, I had just wanted to ask you a simple question in private. What is it, Professor? He cleared his throat and began fiddling with his long black roads. Oh, this is so cute! I'm gonna like fangirl in 3 seconds. Will you be my boyfriend, Harry? He said it so straight up, it was almost as if he didn't even have to think to say it. He just let the phrase slur out of his mouth. The large grin spread on my face as I looked at the older man. I met his eyes and gave a small nod. Yes, Severus, I'll be your boyfriend. A small smile spread across his smug face as he bent over and gave me a small peck on the lips. Thank you, Harry. You should get going before your friends come looking for you. Do come later, though. This place tends to get a little lonely. I will, Severus. Harry's POV. Hermione, Ron, and I in the Gryffindor common room talk about having tea with Snape. I hate to say this, but he's not that bad, Ron said, almost sounding like he regretted saying those words. I told you, Ron, Hermione chimed in. I have to tell you guys something, I said nervously. What's up, mate? Snape kind of asked me out when you guys left. They both looked at each other, their eyes shining. They both shared a look of surprise. Oh, Harry, oh my gosh, that's wonderful. What did you say? Hermione said, latching herself on him. I said, yes, of course. Woohoo! Congrats, mate! Ron whispered, shouted enthusiastically. Thanks, guys. I'm really grateful to have supportive friends. We're grateful to have a friend like you too, Harry. We all grinned and kept talking about Snape for the next 10 minutes. Before it was time for dinner, the three of us all walked side by side to the great. Ew. It was a burp and a yawn. That's gross. We sat down on, it just felt gross, on the Gryffindor table. We all continued to talk about Snape, but in a hushed voice, making sure that no one around us listened. After all, I didn't really want the whole school to know about my relationship with a professor. It would probably get Snape fired, and I'd never want that for him. I don't know why I just stuttered. What do you reckon he wants? I mean, I don't know if it's just me, but he's never shown interest until last month. Ron's asked, trying not to sound offensive. I mean, He could have just been thinking about things and decided he liked me. Or maybe he hid his interest for the past years or something. To be honest, you never knew Snape. I sighed, looking down on my uneaten plate. Looking around the large room, and my eyes darted over the staff table. My eyes locked with the familiar onyx black ones. He looked at me, as if annoyed. Eat, he mouthed. I sighed heavily while deciding it was better not to defy Snape, so I scooped up a spoonful of mashed potatoes and gravy and ate it. That was my only meal for the whole day. Finally, Dumbledore announced the end of the dinner so we all filed out of the Great Hall. I'm going to go see Snape, guys, as I took a right to the dungeons. I rapped on the door and heard the smooth voice command for me to enter. So I did. Good evening, Harry. Hello, Severus. Why aren't you eating? Pardon me? Why aren't you eating? I'm not hungry, Severus. Harry, you do know that I'm a grown man, and I easily detect lies. What? Well, by trying this one more time before I use Occlumency, why aren't you eating? I stared at the man who was now officially my boyfriend and locked eyes with him. I let out a loud sigh and I spit out the truth. I guess I just don't really get hungry. I tend to lose my appetite and sometimes I just starve myself without realizing it. I am always starved at the Dursleys over the summer, so I guess I'm just kind of used to not eating. You're not at the fucking Dursleys, Harry, he said furiously, slamming his hand on the desk. I'm sorry. I'll start eating more if it concerns you. Harry, I care about you. I really do. I hate seeing you starve like this. If I have to, I will make you sit next to me during breakfast, lunch, and dinner, just so I can know that you're eating. About the Dursleys, I'll talk to Dumbledore about it. I believe you won't be staying at the Dursleys next summer. Okay, I'll eat more, Severus. Take a seat, he said, getting up and sitting down on his velvet couch sofa, while gesturing for me to sit next to him. Sorry, I was harsh on you, Harry. I hate seeing you unhealthy or hurt or starving. Severus, I assure you, I'm just fine. All right, Harry, I trust you. I trust you on that. You know, you can't always come to me if anything comes up. Yes, Severus. I lay down on the sofa thinking. Then I realized I haven't showered for the past 3 days. I had spent all the 3 days at the hospital wing, right next to Severus the whole time. I hadn't eaten, showered, or even talked to anyone throughout those 2 days. He was so unconscious. Hey, Severus? Yes, Harry? Is it fine if I shower real quick? I've really gotten comfortable using your shower. Don't get too attached to it. You'll start favoring it over me. I laugh. Severus, you know I wouldn't do that. I gave him a peck on the cheek. Of course you can use my shower, Harry. Make yourself at home here. Severus's POV. As Harry was in the shower, I got up to make myself a cup of tea. While doing so, I thought of Harry. Now that we were a couple, I was thinking about our future. Like, when will we get married? Oh no, I love this. This is like so me. Are we going to have kids? Where were we going to live? I sighed. Don't get too caught up in the future, Severus. I sat there waiting for my tea to finish boiling while I thought about Harry. After these past couple months of my liking for him has grown a huge amount. At this point, I couldn't handle not being in the same room with him for a little while without going crazy. I had the urge not to just devil shag him. Let me re-say that. I had the urge to just shag him on my desk every time I saw him now. After all, he did say he was ready for whatever was ahead. Throughout the past couple of days and months I've been around Harry, I discovered that the boy whose father was a bitter person is very sweet and kind-hearted. He even stayed with me in the hospital wing for the whole time I was unconscious. He was so adorable, handsome, sexy, nice, and cute. He was just perfect. I couldn't have asked for a better boyfriend. Now, I don't know if I have those feelings because I haven't loved in 20 years or because Potter has that effect on me. I believe the answer will stay unknown as of now. I heard the shower stop running and shuffling in my bathroom. A minute later, out came the green-haired boy who was half naked with a towel wrapped around his waist. I accidentally licked my lips at the sight. Shit. I had to fight the urge to just walk up to him, kiss his abs, rip the towel right off of his waist. To be honest, the boy had a very beautiful body for a teenager. He was very muscular and had a defined jawline, a six-pack, strong, masculine legs and arms. Not only that, but the boy was also extremely great on the inside and outside, too. He cleared his throat. Right. Sorry, Harry, I got carried away. Very. He chuckled as he pointed to my lower region. I looked down and saw a bulging erection pressed against my black pants under my robes. Professor, I can help you with that, if you'd like. Harry, I appreciate the offer, but I have two very skillful hands. Oh, come on now. Just a little fun tonight. I'll do anything. Anything. I smirked. Oh, no! I was like, just one more chapter. It's fine. And I'm like, oh, my gosh. Okay, warning, smut. Read at your own risk. Oh, my good grief. Harry's POV. I don't know why I wanted to do that or why I had forced Severus into letting me deal with his erection, but for him, I guess I was thinking about him in the shower and I realized how much I was really in love with him. Besides, his erection had turned me on, and I guess I really wanted him to feel loved. After all, the man hasn't loved in 20 years, and I felt bad for him, and he deserved some devil's tango before he grew too old. He's not that old. He's about 35. He's not that old. Right about now, he would have his midlife crisis, but that's pretty much it. Before I knew it, Snape was leading me to his bed, dragging me by the arm, moving rather hastily. I was already half naked to begin with, so all I had to do was rip off my white towel hanging loosely on my waist, and I was fully undressed. I looked over at the man who was staring at me. Wow! Staring at my 6-inch licking his lips. Whoa, my gosh. My dude. It's 6 inches. I mean, that's the average. The world average. I know it's the United States average. I don't know about the world, but yeah, that's an average. I leaned on my king-sized black, Severus is POV. Did I say that already? No, I didn't. Leaned on my king-sized black bed as Harry took off his towel, revealing his large... I licked my lips as I kept staring at his manhood. By now, my erection had been aching to be dealt with. Let's get started, shall we? He growled under his breath. He strongly grasped my shoulders, shoving me down on the bed, causing me to lay down on it. He quickly got on top of me and started to suck my collarbone, neck, and sucking my collarbone and neck, biting on them as well, leaving marks. He began kissing down my jawline. I fought the urge to show my weak spots and moan it so early. He grasped my robes and unbuttoned them with haste speed. I watched as Harry took off my robes and collared shirt. As he looked down at my pants, he licked his lips while rubbing his manhood on my bulge. Wow, causing me to moan from the contact. Harry. I glanced down. Now the boy had a full erection. He was fiddling with my zipper. He pulled down my long black dress pants, revealing my boxers. Severus, you have a very nice body for a 40-year-old man. So, 40 years old. Huh? So his mother had him at 25? I thought it was 20. Sorry, maybe I'm wrong. For a 40-year-old man, he said, licking my very visible abdomen muscles. He kept tracing my kisses down my stomach, stopping at my whatever sound that was from my throat, just dying on the inside. Stopping at my boxers. He quickly pulled off my undergarments, revealing my Oh! Wow. Lightsaber fight. I'm such a child. Hey, on Magic Mike, they pulled out the adult toys because they had to for like a guy to be fixed with a fake one, you know. His thing had to be longer than what his thing was. And they had such a big assortment of boxes of toys that they started to have a lightsaber fight with them. So there you go for a fact about Magic Mike. Revealing my 8-inch piece. I saw it as Harry's eyes widened at the sight of it. He took the piece in his hand, causing me to flinch at the touch. I saw him smile gently as he started pumping. I moaned as the vibration intensified after each pump. I looked at him as he opened his mouth wide and put it in his mouth, gagging at first, but I ain't gonna tell you any points on that. Why would I tell you what happened, what you should do? I shouldn't. This isn't a channel for that. The two of us were a moaning mess at this point. To be embarrassed, Harry had made me finish in the first 20 seconds of his business. I've never experienced anything better, I said, panting. Rolled over to Harry, making eye contact with the boy. I met his beautiful emerald eyes sighed heavily. I came closer to him and pulled him into a kiss. I kissed him hard, passionate, feeling the vibration of our lips moving as he moaned in the kiss. I pulled away, placing kisses on his jawline as I worked down and sucked on his neck. As I began biting and dragging my teeth on the flesh, leaving a mark, I looked at his hickey and smiled proudly. As I traced my hand over it, I thought about the hickey Harry had given me as well. I made sure to make it so that everyone can see it. I whispered in his ear, causing him to shiver. Now you're mine, and I am yours, he whispered, placing a soft peck on my cheek before falling asleep. Smut is over! Now you're mine and I am yours. I smiled at myself as I recalled him saying those words the moments before. So Draco can't say anything now because everything's official and they did stuff. Right? Is that what he was getting at? Anyways, author's note. Sorry for the lack of updates so far. I've really been busy with schoolwork and such. As a reward for your patience, I've decided to add some smut in this chapter. Yes, this is my first ever smut I've wrote. I'm pretty sure that I don't understand the dialogue, that this is the best he's ever had. That part was kind of weird, but I mean, the other stuff was pretty standard, I guess. Because it was her first time, I'm impressed being it her first time. But, yeah, I've seen worse, definitely. Future of those of you who want some more, there's going to be more smut, oh gosh, in the future. Okay, so in the next 8 chapters, there's going to be more smut. Wait, 8? About 13, so, Thanks for getting this book to nearly 1K reads. I really appreciate all the feedback that it means to the world to me. Oh, that's sweet. Okay, I'm going to end it here. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you like this one. Give it a big thumbs up. That was rude of me. Sorry. Comment down below which part was your favorite. I have no idea which one was mine. Comment more stories and such. I have new dreary ones that people want me to read, but, that's gonna happen. Anyways, I love you guys so much. Be happy, be healthy, and always be loving. Bye-bye.